So let's talk consumers now, because this is where the rubber meets the road for what we're talking about for retail. And housing is the big one. And just to give you some ratios of where we were January of 20 versus February of 24, we have 42% increase in the cost of a home as well. You look at a 46% increase in the salary required to own a median priced home across the United States. And that's really, really important for retail, in the sense that when people buy new homes, they spend to outfit those homes. So that affects your Home Depots, your DIYs, it affects your home goods stores, all of those areas, because that's a big deal. So when you look at it a different way, this shows the average home or housing payment that was required from where we were in 2021 at below $1,500. We were about $1,400, and now we're running at about 2,400 in January of this year, and now it's 2,775 for the average home, and our interest rates at 6.88% here as of April 14th. So that massive growth there in the price of the home and the appreciation of the home is a big deal for consumers. So on that, though, is we've got this issue where the number of homes out there is very low because everybody wants to stay in their home. As you'll notice in the bottom left, you can see the split of interest rates of mortgages, and historically low there. And on average, there's a 3.2 points of gap between your existing mortgage and what you can get if you want to move right now. So that makes it extremely tough if you are in a situation of having to move. That makes it extremely expensive to get a mortgage and everything related to that as well. So once again, just like fuel, more that goes into the mortgage is less that goes into the retail store. We're also seeing record high debt for consumers, passing over $1 trillion there in 2023, and now we're up to 1.13 trillion as of Q4 of 2023. That's some tough news there. We've also seen an increase in delinquencies that is starting to happen there. There's actually a fifth data point here related to student loans, and not surprisingly, that has actually gone down from 22 to 23. The number of delinquencies, the growth rate actually decreased with that, as the administration has paid off those loans there for a lot of people. The unfortunate part is 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And I thought this chart was fascinating, and I'll let you dig into it more when you get the slides. But it shows you by income what is causing the economic stress overall. And I think it's fascinating to look at paying for family members as being a huge portion of what's going on there, in terms of why the higher incomes are having to go paycheck to paycheck for things. But as well, the non-essential spending down at the bottom half here also shows some things. So I just thought it was fascinating to include in the slides here for stuff. But understanding that 78% are paycheck to paycheck, when we have these big spikes, whether it's insurance, whether it's fuel prices or whatever, that once again impacts what's happening there. Now, some of the good news is that the average return from the IRS this year is higher than it was last year, slightly higher. What are we, about $150 higher on average that is coming through.